The perfect drawing. The afternoon light filtered through the tall windows of Caf Luna, casting a warm golden glow across the polished wooden tables. Emma Rodriguez sat near the corner, nervously adjusting the small pearl clip in her blonde hair. She glanced at her watch for the third time in 5 minutes. Her blind date was supposed to arrive at 2 o'clock, and it was already 10 minutes past. Beside her, 5-year-old Tyler swung his legs from the cafe chair, his small fingers wrapped around a box of colored pencils. His dark brown hair fell across his forehead as he concentrated on his drawing, tongue poking out slightly in determination. He wore his favorite outfit, a white t-shirt under denim overalls that Emma had bought him for his birthday last month. "Mummy, is the nice man coming soon?" Tyler whispered, looking up with bright, curious eyes. Emma's heart clenched with guilt. She had planned everything so carefully. Her sister Sarah was supposed to babysit Tyler during her first date in over 2 years. But Tyler had woken up with a slight fever that morning, and Sarah had to cancel. She couldn't risk getting sick before her own job interview tomorrow. "I think so, sweetheart," Emma replied softly, smoothing down his hair. "Remember what we talked about. You're going to sit quietly and draw while Mummy talks to her friend." The truth was, Emma was terrified. She had met Marcus Chen through a mutual friend who insisted they would be perfect for each other. "He's successful, kind, and looking for something real," Sarah had said. What Sarah didn't mention was that he was also the CEO of a growing tech company, and Emma was just a marketing coordinator trying to make ends meet as a single mother. She had almost canceled 3 times that morning. What was she thinking? A successful businessman wouldn't want to deal with the complications of dating a single mom, especially not one who had to bring her child on their first date because she couldn't afford a babysitter and had no backup plan. The cafe door chimed, and Emma looked up to see a tall man in a navy blue suit scanning the room. Even from across the cafe, she could see his kind eyes and genuine smile. He was more handsome than his photos had suggested. With perfectly styled dark hair and an air of quiet confidence, Marcus spotted her and walked over with easy, measured steps. As he got closer, his eyes fell on Tyler, and Emma watched his expression carefully for any sign of disappointment or frustration. "Emma?" Marcus asked warmly, extending his hand. "Yes," she replied, standing quickly. "Marcus, I'm so sorry. I know this isn't what you expected, but don't apologize," Marcus interrupted gently, his smile never wavering. "And you must be Tyler." Tyler looked up from his drawing, suddenly shy. "Hi," he said in a small voice. Marcus crouched down to Tyler's eye level, his expensive suit jacket pulling slightly at the shoulders. "What are you working on there? It looks pretty impressive." Tyler's face lit up with pride. He held up his drawing, a colorful picture of 3 stick figures standing in front of a house. One figure was small, one had long yellow hair, and one was tall and wore what looked like a tie. "It's me and Mummy and maybe you," Tyler said, his cheeks turning pink. Emma felt her face burn with embarrassment. "Tyler, honey, you don't need to," but Marcus was studying the drawing with genuine interest. "This is incredible. Tyler, you know what? I think this might be the best drawing I've ever seen. May I sit down and look at it more closely?" Tyler nodded eagerly, and Marcus pulled out the chair across from them. As he settled in, he caught Emma's eye and gave her a reassuring look that seemed to say, "It's okay, really." A waitress approached, and Marcus ordered coffee for himself and Emma, then turned to Tyler. "What's your favorite drink here, buddy?" "Chocolate milk," Tyler replied without hesitation. "1 chocolate milk." "Coming right up," the waitress said with a smile. As they waited for their drinks, Marcus leaned forward, genuinely interested in Tyler's artwork. "Tell me about this house. Is that where you and your mom live?" Tyler nodded enthusiastically. "We have a little apartment, but Mummy says maybe someday we'll have a house with a yard where I can play." Emma felt her cheeks grow warm. She hadn't meant for their financial struggles to become part of the conversation so quickly. Marcus nodded thoughtfully. "Yards are pretty great. I have one, but it's way too big for just me. Sometimes I think it would be more fun if there were kids playing in it." Tyler's eyes widened. "Really? Do you have swings?" "I don't," Marcus admitted, "but I've been thinking about getting some." "What kind of swings do you think would be best?" As Tyler launched into an animated description of the perfect swing set, Emma found herself relaxing for the first time all afternoon. Marcus wasn't just being polite, he was genuinely engaging with her son, asking follow-up questions and listening to Tyler's answers with the same attention he probably gave to business meetings. Their drinks arrived, and Tyler carefully set his drawing aside to make room. As he reached for his chocolate milk, he accidentally knocked over Emma's purse, spilling its contents across the table. "Oh no," Emma gasped, quickly gathering up the scattered items: her wallet, keys, lip balm, and several folded papers that she tried to shuffle together quickly. But Marcus had already seen them. Past due notices, medical bills, a letter from Tyler's daycare about late fees. Emma's face burned with humiliation. "I'm sorry," she whispered. "This was a mistake. I shouldn't have come." She started to stand, but Marcus gently touched her arm. "Emma, wait please." She looked at him, expecting to see pity or discomfort in his eyes. Instead, she saw something else entirely: understanding, and maybe even admiration. "Do you know what I see when I look at you?" Marcus said quietly. glancing at Tyler, who was happily slurping his chocolate milk. I see someone who's raising an incredible little boy on her own. Someone who's working hard to make a better life for him. Someone who's brave enough to put herself out there even when things are difficult. Emma's eyes filled with tears. But you're successful, accomplished. You don't need someone with all this baggage. Marcus shook his head. You know what my life has been missing? Purpose beyond profits. Joy beyond achievements. Real connections beyond business deals. He gestured toward Tyler, who was now adding more details to his drawing. This little guy has taught me more about happiness in 30 minutes than I've learned in years of board meetings. Tyler looked up at that moment, chocolate milk mustache decorating his upper lip. Are you going to be my mummy's friend? Marcus looked at Emma, his expression serious but warm. I'd very much like to be both your mummy's friend and your friend, if that's okay with you. Tyler grinned and pushed his drawing across the table, toward Marcus. Then you can keep this. It's us being a family. Emma wiped away a tear as Marcus carefully picked up the drawing, treating it like a precious document. Thank you, Tyler. I'm going to put this somewhere very special. As the afternoon wore on, they ordered sandwiches and continued talking. Marcus asked about Emma's work, her dreams, her challenges. He listened without judgment and shared stories about his own struggles, building his company from nothing when it was time to leave. Tyler hugged Marcus's legs goodbye, and Marcus promised they would see each other again very soon. Outside the cafe, as Emma buckled Tyler into his car seat, she felt something she hadn't experienced in years: hope, not just for herself, but for the possibility of a real family, built not on perfection but on understanding, acceptance, and love. 6 months later, Tyler's drawing would hang in a frame on Marcus's office wall, right next to his business degrees and awards, but it would always be his most treasured possession. Reminder of the day a little boy's artwork helped him discover what truly mattered in life.